Thank you all for being here today. I want to talk about something simple yet powerful, the idea of never giving up. We all face moments in life where the road ahead looks uncertain, where we stumble, fall, and question whether we can keep going. These are the moments that test us, not just our strength, but our character. There's a temptation, especially when things are hard, to throw up our hands and say, "This is too much. I can't do it." But the truth is, every great achievement, every meaningful change, comes from the refusal to quit when it would have been easier to walk away. Each of us has a story. Some of us have had to fight through poverty, discrimination, or the feeling that we don't belong. Some of us have failed more times than we can count. But that's the point. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about resilience. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It's about knowing that progress, real progress, takes time, effort, and the courage to keep moving forward when the odds are stacked against you. History shows us again and again that those who make a difference are not always the smartest or the most talented, but they are the ones who don't give up. They believe in something bigger than themselves. They fight for it, they work for it, and they don't let defeat define them. So when you face that moment, when the challenge seems too great or the goal too far, remember, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to feel discouraged. But don't quit. Rest if you must, but keep going. The next step you take might be the one that changes everything, because the people who change the world are the ones who refuse to stop trying. Adversity is one of life's great teachers. It doesn't just measure how strong we are physically or how clever we might be in solving problems. It reveals something deeper. It shines a light on our character, on the choices we make when things aren't easy, and on the attitude we carry when no one's watching. Anyone can move forward when the path is smooth and clear. But it's when obstacles appear, when the plans fall apart, when the door slams in your face, when everything you counted on seems to slip away, that your true self shows up. In those moments, people react in different ways. Some give in to doubt, telling themselves that failure defines them. Others lash out, blaming the world, blaming the system, blaming luck. But then there are those who take a breath, gather themselves, and take one more step forward. Not because they have all the answers, not because the fear has disappeared, but because they understand that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It's in the decision to try again. It's in the refusal to let adversity write the final chapter. Every person who's ever achieved something meaningful has faced hardship. Whether it was rejection, failure, ridicule, or just plain bad luck, they've had reasons to give up. But what set them apart wasn't the absence of adversity. It was their response to it. They didn't allow those moments to define their worth. They used them to sharpen their sense of purpose, to learn, to grow, and to keep showing up. That's character. It's not built when everything goes your way. It's built when nothing does. When adversity strikes, it doesn't care where you come from or what you've accomplished. It will test your patience, your belief, your sense of identity, and in those moments, the question is simple: will you let it break you, or will you let it shape you? Because the truth is, character isn't what you say, it's what you do when things get tough. It's how you carry yourself when the spotlight is gone, when the audience is quiet, and when it's just you and the challenge in front of you. Success is often misunderstood. Many believe it's reserved for those born with extraordinary talent, or for people who seem to have every advantage from the start. But real success doesn't come from perfection. It's not about never making mistakes, never falling short, or always having the right answer. It's built on resilience, the ability to keep going when you've stumbled, to stand back up when you've been knocked down, and to face the same challenge again with new strength. Perfection is a myth. No one achieves anything worthwhile without failing along the way. If you talk to anyone who has reached a goal they once dreamed about, they'll tell you the road wasn't smooth. They'll speak of the moments they felt lost, the times they were told no, the days they questioned whether it was even worth it. But the thing they all have in common is that they kept going. They didn't let a bad day become a final decision. They didn't let one setback define their story. Resilience is choosing to move forward even when you're uncertain. It's showing up the day after a disappointment. It's finding the courage to try again even if you've failed more than once. That strength doesn't always look like a grand act. Sometimes it's quiet and steady. It's writing that next line after 1,000 edits. It's getting back on the field after a tough loss. It's applying again after being rejected, believing that your moment will come if you don't stop trying. The people who achieve great things in life aren't perfect. They're persistent. They've learned to accept failure as part of the process, not the end of it. They understand that mistakes are how we grow, how we improve, and how we discover what we're truly made of. It's not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Resilience means betting on yourself, even when the outcome is uncertain, because you believe that your effort, your growth, and your will to continue matter more than any one failure along the way. Quitting is easy. When things get hard, when the pressure rises, and when progress feels slow or invisible, walking away often feels like the most comfortable option. It offers instant relief, a way to avoid failure, avoid discomfort, avoid disappointment. But what quitting can never offer is growth. It can't build strength, it can't teach persistence, and it certainly can't lead to any real breakthrough. On the other hand, perseverance is uncomfortable, demanding, and at times even painful, but it is powerful. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. There will always be reasons to give up. The world won't always cheer you on. Sometimes you'll feel alone in your efforts, misunderstood, or overlooked. The results you hoped for might not come right away, or at all. It's in those times that the choice becomes clear. You can take the easy way out, or you can keep showing up. You can choose to let frustration guide your next step, or you can decide that your purpose is worth fighting for. And that's what perseverance is. It's not blind stubbornness. It's knowing why you started and refusing to forget it when things get hard. Perseverance means doing the work when no one is watching. It's practicing your craft, showing up to the early mornings and the late nights, committing to progress over perfection. It's understanding that success is often quiet and slow before it's loud and celebrated. The most powerful part of perseverance is that it creates momentum. Every small effort builds on the last. Each time you refuse to quit, you strengthen your ability to keep going next time. Eventually, the path you're walking, step by step, choice by choice, starts to lead somewhere real. Those who persevere aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who have decided that struggle is part of the journey, not a reason to turn back. They see challenge not as a wall, but as a door that can be pushed open with enough pressure, enough belief, and enough time. Giving up guarantees failure, but perseverance keeps possibility alive. It gives you a chance to grow into your potential, to rise above the moment, and to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined, simply because you didn't stop. Every person carries a story that matters, regardless of where it begins. Some are born into comfort, others into struggle. Some are surrounded by support, while others have to search for it. But what unites us all is the ability to shape our own story through the choices we make, the effort we put in, and the belief we carry through life's storms. Where you start may influence your path, but it doesn't define your destination. The circumstances of your beginning are not the limits of your potential. There are people who have been told from a young age that they won't amount to much, that their dreams are too big or their background too limiting. They've grown up hearing that success belongs to someone else, someone with more connections, more resources, or more luck. But those messages are wrong. Time and time again, History has proven that greatness rises from the most unlikely places. Some of the most impactful leaders, thinkers, artists, and builders of our world began with nothing but a dream and the determination to see it through. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about starting where you are and using what you have. Your story is powerful because it is yours alone. The obstacles you've faced, the pain you've endured, the strength you've developed, these are not weaknesses. They're the roots of your resilience. They are the reason why, even when others doubt you, you can still rise. And every time you take a step forward, you're not just proving something to others, you're proving something to yourself. You're affirming that you're not defined by what you lack, but by what you build. There's honor in pushing forward when the odds are against you. There's courage in believing in your worth when the world hasn't yet caught on. And there's power in recognizing that your past doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. It teaches you to work harder, to care deeper, and to never take opportunities for granted. So no matter how your story begins, never let it convince you that you're stuck. You are more than your circumstances. You are the author of what comes next. Believing in something bigger than yourself is one of the most powerful sources of strength a person can have. When your motivation is rooted in a purpose greater than personal gain, whether it's to serve your family, uplift your community, fight for justice, or build a better future, you develop a different kind of endurance. That belief becomes your anchor in difficult times, your compass when you're lost, and your fuel when the road gets hard. It gives meaning to the struggle and turns every setback into a reason to push forward, not a reason to turn back. There will always be days when you question whether the effort is worth it. Progress might feel slow, and recognition might never come. But when you're fighting for something that matters beyond yourself, something that touches lives beyond your own, it becomes harder to quit. You realize that your work, your commitment, your refusal to give up, it all has ripple effects. Someone is watching you. Someone is learning from your persistence. Someone is finding the courage to keep going because they see you doing it. That kind of purpose doesn't just help you endure, it helps you grow. It helps you think beyond short-term wins and look toward long-term impact. It shifts your focus from individual struggle to collective strength. When you believe in something bigger, you stop measuring success only by personal milestones and start measuring it by how much good you can do, how much you can uplift others, how much you can contribute to something lasting. That belief is what makes movements possible. It's what inspires change. It's what brings people together across differences and divides. And in those moments when you feel tired or discouraged, that belief becomes a voice that says, keep going, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because the work matters, because someone needs what you're building, what you're defending, or what you're dreaming of. Purpose makes pain bearable. It turns setbacks into lessons. And most importantly, it reminds you that even if the results take time, the effort is never wasted. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, you become part of something enduring. You become part of a legacy of people who didn't give up because they knew the fight was never just about them. The next step could be the breakthrough. Often, when we are in the midst of struggle, it's easy to feel like we've reached a dead end. We look at our situation and wonder if all the work, all the effort, all the sacrifices are for nothing. But here's the truth. Sometimes success doesn't come with a grand leap. It arrives quietly in the moment when we choose not to give up. The breakthrough often happens just after we've reached the point where we're ready to walk away. It's that next step, that one additional effort, that one more try, that brings us closer to what we've been working for. Think about all the great inventions, discoveries, and moments of triumph throughout history. How many times did inventors, leaders, and everyday people come close to quitting just before their greatest achievement? Every one of them had moments of doubt, moments when they felt the weight of failure. But what made them different was their decision to keep moving, to take that next step, even when it seemed like nothing would change. It's easy to give up when you can't see the finish line. It's tempting to think that nothing will ever get better, that all your efforts have been in vain. But sometimes all it takes is one more push, one more try, and suddenly everything shifts. That's why perseverance is so important. It keeps the door open to possibility. Even when you feel like you've reached the end of your rope, there's always a chance that the next step will lead you to a breakthrough. As you continue to push forward, remember that your effort is never wasted, even if the results aren't immediately visible. The small actions, the daily grind, the persistence, they add up, they create momentum. The path to success is often built on small, consistent steps, and those who achieve great things are the ones who don't stop. They understand that the journey is long, but every step is part of the process. So, when you're facing a moment of doubt, when the finish line feels impossibly far, or when it seems like you're not making any progress, keep going. Your next step could be the one that changes everything. Keep believing in your potential, keep working, and most importantly, keep moving forward, because with every step, you're getting closer to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Never give up. Your journey is not over. The best part is yet to come.